her heart hammered, and she was running before she realized it. To her relief, a moment later, the novices reached their destination on one of the very highest terraces.
Hello, BookTube. So as you saw in that opening scene, I've started a new audiobook, and that is She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. This is a non-binary author who uses she, they pronouns, and I first heard about the book on the NB Book Club on Instagram, hosted by Jesse. They also have a YouTube channel entitled Bowties and Books. I highly recommend you check both of those out. But on the NB Book Club, it focuses on works by non-binary authors, not necessarily dealing with the subject of non-binary or with main characters who are non-binary, but just featuring works by non-binary authors who are quite often overlooked. Anyway, this one sounded really, really interesting. Goodreads describes it as sort of a mix between Mulan and the Song of Achilles. It is a historical reimagining of the rise of the first emperor of the Ming Dynasty, but it's mostly focused on a young girl's desire to change her fate, you might say. We start out in 1345 China, and we meet a starving peasant family. There's a father and a son, Zhu Chongba, and his younger sister. And one day the father goes to a mystic and wants to find out the fate of his children. And he's told that Zhu Chongba is due for greatness. The boy has some kind of fantastic future, but when the girl asks what her future is, she's told nothingness. And she is basically determined to rise above her fate. And events kind of speed things along when some bandits attack the family looking for food and whatever other possessions they could steal of what little they have already. The father's killed, the boy succumbs to despair and dies, and the girl has to find some way to survive, so she takes on her brother's identity and enters a monastery, and now has to hide her own identity. Being female in a monastery is forbidden, and but she is determined to rise above her fate and take on her brother's greatness, abandoned greatness as it's described. So far it is absolutely beautifully written. The language is just so, it's like reading prose, and it's just amazing. The setting, the detail of the characters, and I'm just really fascinated by her story. It deals a lot with the gender identity, and like I said, there's some revenge going on between with another character, but I'm really interested in seeing the rise of this particular character and the growth of her. So really, really enjoying that so far. Next up, I've downloaded another ebook. I've had not downloaded it. I've had it on my Kindle for a while. And it's a work by somebody I've read before, so I know she's going to be good. This is H.Y. Hannah's Deadhead and Buried, and this is the first in a English cottage garden mystery series. I previously read her Oxford Tea Room Mysteries, the prequel and book one of that, and I really, really enjoyed it. So this is the first one in this particular series, and we meet a young woman named Poppy. The theme kind of started out very similar to this other book, the horror book I just finished reading, The Haunting of White Crested Estate, in which you have a main character who's kind of down on their luck, barely scraping by paycheck to paycheck, and suddenly inherits property from a relative they have had very little connection with over the years. I'm thinking, okay, this is weird that it's just like almost the same theme, but I really like Poppy so far. Her boss was an absolute bitch, okay? She just belittled her for every single thing she did, even to the point where she's like late bringing her coffee because she stopped to help somebody, and or she wasn't taking care of the plants, and they were just going to take it out of her paycheck because the plants were dying. Well, here now she has suddenly inherited her grandmother's cottage garden nursery. She can't keep an office plant alive, but now she's got a nursery on her hands. She goes to visit the property, and it's been a bit of time as things are overgrown, and while she's kind of exploring it, all of a sudden she comes across a body in the garden, in the overgrown garden. So we're almost immediately thrown into a murder mystery. There's some interesting characters we've come across, a kind of a eccentric inventor who lives next door on the one side, who kind of keeps to himself. He's an outsider in the town. And on the other side, there's a crime writer, a murder mystery writer. So kind of interesting setting. Once again, she had inherited this from her grandmother, who she didn't have any kind of really relationship with because she was estranged from her mother. So she never really got a chance to meet her grandmother. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I've noticed there's like, if you look at a lot of her books, there's like cats on just about every one of her books. So they feature quite heavily within the books. And I love the cover. There's the feet of the body in there. Anyway, yeah, I recommend her so far. I'm really enjoying what I've read, and even I'm about maybe a third of the way through it so far, and I'm already liking it. So yeah, anyway, those are the 2 books I've currently got going. No third one this time, just balancing out 2 books, and really enjoying both of them. After the last couple of books I've finished reading, I did not enjoy it at all. So it's a nice change of pace this time. So hopefully you guys are reading something good this Friday as well. Yeah, I've got some weird lighting here. I know I'm in my room and it's about ready to go to bed actually. So I wanted to film this while I had a chance and get it uploaded. So anyway, see you guys next time. Enjoy your reading. Bye-bye.